East meets West in Alberta today. New Brunswick Premier David Alward will be there to tour the oil sands, take part in a major oil summit. Some hope that this visit is the next step to a possible pipeline from Alberta to Eastern Canada. Kathy Mueller's live in Calgary with more on that. Good morning, Kathy.
Yes, good morning, Pat. Well, as we know, it's crucial right now for Alberta to expand its market reach for two reasons. Redford announced a $6 billion shortfall in oil and gas revenues for the fiscal year of 2013-2014, as well as the pipeline situation to the west and also to the south of the United States, definitely in limbo as it stands. So it's important for the province of Alberta to expand its reach and see other options. And one of the options that is quite viable right now is to go from west to east, and that's Eastern Canada to New Brunswick refineries, and that would bring Alberta crude to a refinery that the biggest, I guess, refinery in Canada, the Irving refinery in New Brunswick. And just to give you a little bit of a stats on this this refinery in New Brunswick, the capacity has a capacity to refine over 300,000 barrels per day of crude, as well as right now over 80% of the crude refined in the Irving refinery is from abroad. So definitely that would be a chance for Alberta to tap into that market, tap into Eastern and Central Canada markets as well. So that's definitely an option viable, and it also ties in to Redford's plan to have this energy strategy, this Canadian energy strategy. So definitely it ties in very nicely to what the plans for Redford's strategy is all about. Now, last week we did hear from Premier Redford in Toronto, and she definitely reaffirmed the benefits of having this energy strategy and having Alberta's oil sands really thrive for Canada's economy. Have a listen.
My home province is blessed, as I've said before when I've come to Toronto, with the world's third largest proven oil reserves. And they've transformed Alberta into one of Canada's leading economic engines. The benefits from the oil sands reach across this country in the forms of jobs, contracts, investment and revenues, and they spread across a web of supporting industries.
Now, as you mentioned, New Brunswick Premier David Alward is in oil country for a few days. He started his visit in Fort McMurray, visiting some oil sands there. And now he's in Calgary for a couple days. And today he'll be attending the 10th annual Oil Sands Summit right here in Calgary. And he also will be being with Premier Redford to do a joint news conference a little bit later on this afternoon as well. So it's going to be really interesting exactly what comes out of that news conference with Premier Redford, because this is a very crucial moment for Alberta to really push to expand its market reach. And I had a look at the Canadian Oil Sands Summit, the agenda for the next couple of days, and definitely lots of interesting topics talked about for the next couple of days, Pat. The big topics will obviously be all about market reach and seeing what Alberta oil sands will do in the next few years, as well as the future of the oil sands here in Canada. So those are the main topics that are going to be talked about during this summit here in Calgary. But definitely all eyes will be on both Premier Redford and Premier Alward for the next couple of days as well. So we'll definitely keep an eye on this, and we'll have live coverage as well all throughout the day with Mike Blanchard.
Okay, Kathy, thanks.
You're welcome.